And do the customary, don't know if we're live yet or not, but I'll just start talking. Hi, everybody. How's it going today? I missed last week. It's been a while since I've talked to you, but I've tried to do some different things. I had a bit of a hectic week last week, a lot of different things going on, but I'm back this week, which is the good thing, and I'm hoping and planning on this being still my regular time, still my regular day. But I do want your opinions. If you're joining with me here live, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions in the live chat. If you are team replay or whatever the case may be, let me know what's the best day and time that works for you. The days that work best for me are Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Kind of any time. I prefer evening-ish just so I can get my morning stuff done. Maybe even afternoon. But I would like to know your opinions on what you think might be the best dates and times to live stream. Sometimes I know that a Sunday night can be a little bit difficult, especially now that football's back. Excited for that. I am going to get this stream wrapped up before my Seahawks play the Patriots tonight, so that's going to be happening. If you are here with me in the live chat, let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video or my videos in general, whatever the case may be. So today's agenda, we have a couple of things. If you saw the title of the video, you probably already know. But today we're going to be talking about the Hogwarts Legacy game, which was just announced for PS5, and it's actually going to be on PS4 as well, which I didn't know until after I had made a post on Instagram and all that stuff. So I'm excited about that. We're going to watch the trailer for that. Probably going to get copyright, but you know what? That doesn't really matter. And then we're also going to be doing a sort of live review of The Devil All the Time, which is on Netflix, a new movie that just recently came out, and we'll give my thoughts. Now, I plan on segmenting this into separate videos for later, so if you are not joining me on the live stream, don't worry too much about it. I will be having the actual videos for these separated later once I get done, obviously, recording this, as well as editing the final videos with some other flashier stuff to it, not just me talking the entire time, but there'll be some visuals, or some nice visuals, at least I hope anyway. So, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you are here, let's go ahead and check the live chat really quick. We got Rhino Dog in the house. What's up? How you doing, my friend? I heard you've been unwell as well, but you're on the recovery process. My son has been dealing with a little bit of that as well. So hopefully he's getting back to normal. Luckily, no longer a fever, but he still has his cranky spells. But he is a toddler, so we have that going on for us. We have got the future in the house. Big round of applause. I think I have a sound effects thing. I don't know how to do it. Hold on, give me just a second. Let's play some applause. I don't know if you guys can hear this at all. I don't know if this is playing. Imagine that there's applause playing for both of you, because that was my intention, but it's good to see the futures here as well. He's got a big launch coming up. He did have it, I don't know if he pushed it back or what the case may be, but as soon as that comes out, you'll be seeing it all across my social media as well, so I'm super excited for that. All right, Rhino Dog saying what's up. I missed you too, Future. I did. Feel like I've been lacking the future a little bit, and I've been terrible. I've missed just about every single stream this week. The only one that I made was Archers, but I missed almost every single one of PAX's. But I plan on making it up by trying to be there as much as possible in the upcoming future. We'll see how it goes. You hear the applause. Okay, that's good. I don't know, for some reason, because I muted my computer thing. I muted my notifications so that I wouldn't bother you guys if something came in on my computer, so it wouldn't pick up on the mic. But by doing that, I also couldn't hear the applause that was playing. So just fun things dealing with this. But I am trying something very new. Before we jump into our main topics here, I am trying something new. It's a different app for streaming from your phone connected to my computer through Ecamm. So if you guys notice any little bit of difference or think that it looks a little bit better, or maybe there's something a little bit different that you want to see, let me know. I would like to know. This app was like $4, but because I found out that Epoch Cam is no longer supported by Ecamm, essentially what that means is that they consider it no longer like a usable because unreliable. Even though I just recently spent money on that app, of course, that's when they decided to no longer use them. But I got this one now, so hopefully it will continue in working properly for these live streams, as long as I'm doing them, which I hope to be for a long time. If you continue to join me, I do appreciate it. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the Hogwarts Legacy trailer. Let's go ahead and do that first. We'll talk about some PS5 stuff after that, because I did post a couple of questions on my Instagram in a poll just to get some kind of feelers on what people's opinions were. But let's watch the trailer really quick, and then we will go ahead and shoot right into talking about it as well as the PS5 stuff. So let's go ahead and cue that up. Hopefully you guys can hear it this time.
Magic, both beautiful and powerful, binds together our long history. That common bond we share is the legacy of Hogwarts. Now it is time to add your own story to these hallowed halls and, quite possibly, shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor, every portrait, every stone in this castle tells the story of witches and wizards who came before. Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magical abilities in the classrooms of the world's most talented professors. And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions, taming fantastic beasts, and mastering spells, there is a larger world beyond these walls. A world filled with dangers you can't yet imagine. An ancient knowledge long gone from this world. That strange and mysterious talent you possess may be the key to unlocking this dormant power. Your potential is limitless. But what form will it take? The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for. The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
Whoops. Okay, we're back. Hi, how are you guys doing? Okay, so we got a couple people jump into the chat really quick while we were playing that trailer. So before we go ahead and get into that, I want to say hello to Hey Archer. What's up? How you doing, man? Got your old mug currently still. Don't know when I'm going to be able to cop the new merch, but plan on it in the future. We've got Pax in the house. I plan on making your streams because I've missed you for like a week, so hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you. Looks badass. Creativity from the future should know because he does some awesome visual stuff. So if he says it looks awesome, it looks awesome. I 100% agree. It does look really cool. Now, the only problem that I have with a lot of gameplay trailers, and I said this, I think, during the DC Fandom game announcements, is that a lot of these things are considered more like just trailers. So they put a lot more effort in the graphics there. Of course, I know that it's going to be on PS5. So it's going to be obviously pushing the envelope of a lot of graphic stuff, I do believe. But I always kind of take things with a grain of salt there, just because sometimes it's just not what it appears to be always. But that's just my opinion. People got saying hi to each other in the chat, so I won't bore you guys with any of those. I will show this one just because it says Lou. I don't know what that means, but it says Lou, so I just thought it was funny. Okay, so the trailer. It looks really cool. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I've actually been bouncing back and forth with being obsessed with Harry Potter basically since I was like 11, which just happened to be when the first movies were rolling out, and also happens to be when you get your Hogwarts letter. Now, I haven't gotten mine, but if I go on to Wizarding World, I did get sorted into Ravenclaw, big Ravenclaw supporter. So that's my house. If you guys want to let me know your houses down below in the comment section if you're here live with me, awesome. If you are on replay, let me know. I would love to hear what house you're in. But in terms of the gameplay, I am really excited. My only concern, I guess, for gameplay is if it would be too RPG. Now, they did sort of advertise this, or at least in a lot of the rumors, that this game would be very much RPG, role playing game style based. It does kind of come off that way in the trailer, but I think the same studio that did this might have also done the Just Cause franchise, which is Avalanche. I could be wrong on that. But if you have played Just Cause, it's a massive open world game. And I think that's what this is going to look like here, because it looked like you were flying a hippogriff and doing a lot of other things, that exploring the castle and being able to freely explore Hogwarts. If they let us do that alone, I think we are already taking the next step for Harry Potter or Wizarding World games, because a lot of the ones that have come out have either been based on the movies, are the Lego version, which is also based on the movies, or it tends to be more of like a mobile app, which is kind of fun, but it's like fun for like a day. It's not necessarily like something you constantly find yourself going back to. I've downloaded them, each one. I think it was like Hogwarts Mysteries, I think, is one of them, or something like that. And then the other one, which is like a spell casting one, kind of like Pokemon Go. They're okay, but they'll only last you for a day or two. After that, it's just repetitive, kind of the same stuff, and no longer fun. But this one looks like it's going to last a long time. And again, being on a powerhouse like the PlayStation is going to be a big thing. Now, when it's going to come out, I don't know. But we do know the PS5 comes out in November, which is awesome. Now, something that I talked about just a minute ago is the PlayStation 5 in terms of its release and the poll that I put up on Instagram. So it seemed the majority of people not only chose the PS5 over the Xbox, but they also picked the physical version over the digital version. Now, I'm kind of split. I will most likely not get the PS5 right at launch, just because I don't feel the need to spend $400 to $500 right now, especially when I have a fully functioning PS4. And like I said, this game will actually be on PS4. A lot of these launch titles and things like that will be on PS4 as well as PS5. So I probably won't rush out to get a PS5, though I might have to just for Wizarding World, depending on when it comes out, because the trailer said it is coming out in 2021. So that's going to be a couple months. I don't expect it to be early 2021, maybe like April or May at the earliest, but I don't anticipate it being anytime closer to the launch date of the PS5. So I can kind of like save up a little bit maybe in order to get the PS5 with maybe even a bundle of the Hogwarts Legacy. We'll see. That could always be an option. Let's go ahead and go over to the chat really quick. Cinematic trailers are always a little misleading. 100% agree with that. Well, I meant lol. I think Lou was funnier. For a second, thought it was Lord of the Rings. It did kind of look a little bit Lord of the Rings. I think maybe because of the dragon aspect, and just like the way the camera moved, especially with like the trolls and things like that. I can totally see what you're coming from. That it looked like a Lord of the Rings trailer, 100%. Huge Harry Potter fan as well. Well, just a fan. Nothing wrong with that. You can be a Harry Potter fan. Both. Okay, here's my nitpick on fandoms. If you are a fan of something, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be, for lack of a better phrase, like balls to the wall, out of your mind, insane about it, just to consider yourself a fan. Just because I'm a Batman fan doesn't mean that I'm such a Batman fan that I've seen every iteration of Batman, every single episode of every single thing. I barely touched the surface on a lot of the products. But from what I know of it, and him being my favorite superhero, I'm a fan. So although I do probably have more knowledge of that particular area, as well as maybe Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles, I'm not going to knock anybody for liking it but not knowing the entire history of it or anything like that. That's just messed up fandom, kind of toxic. But if you're a fan, awesome. Ravenclaw, yes. I'm guessing Pax is a Ravenclaw. I think I've asked him like 3 times and I never remember. Rhino Dog never got into Harry Potter. I think it's one of those things that's a little bit difficult to get into. I remember going to school with a couple of kids that even when growing up in the big Harry Potter boom, really, they weren't necessarily fans of it, or their families weren't fans of it, so they didn't really get into it. It's not for everyone. Not every fandom is going to be for everyone, but just something fun to look at and watch. We'll wait until it's available for PS4. Probably the same, to be honest. I barely play my video games anymore as is. Like, I dig them out after a while, but I don't have time for a lot of video games anymore. So when I do buy it, it's going to be something that I have to play. Like, for example, the only reason I bought a PS4 was to play Arkham Knight. And I have had some other PS4 games in the meantime. I have like an NBA 2K, a Madden, maybe a couple of other titles, The Witcher, Horizon Zero Dawn, things like that. But I don't play often enough for me to say, okay, let's spend $400 to $500 on this product, even though I'm just going to spend a couple of hours with it, maybe over the span of a year. So it's probably dollars to donuts not worth it, but it looks pretty cool, and I want the best graphics, and I'm greedy. So still playing Atari 2600. You know what's kind of funny, and is that my dad has a Sega Genesis that sometimes he'll still bust out and play. That's probably one of my favorite old school systems. Playing games like Road Rash, NHL 93, Hockey 93. There's like a Desert Elite type of game. There's a whole bunch of really good games on like that old console. And I have a Nintendo Switch as well, which if you have Switch Online, you can play some of the older games. And I spent probably more time playing those older games than playing the actual games for new Switch or new releases for Switch, like the new Mario's or anything like that. I tend to play like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past or some old stuff. You think the game will be good for casuals? I'm not a pothead. Do I think the game would be good for casuals? I'm going to say yes. Only because if you're a gaming fan, and the fact that this is going to be Wizarding World based in the 1800s, it's not going to be anything based off of Harry Potter. Harry Potter took place in like the 90s in terms of actual story. Obviously, the movies were released later, but the so-called Battle of Hogwarts didn't happen until like 1997. So when they came out, the last movie I think came out in 2011, I want to say. So the fact that this is removed from Harry Potter, it's Wizarding World, which should have been a massive push earlier on in the franchise, I think. It opens up a lot of possibilities. I highly recommend that this, well, at least based on the trailer, I do think that this would be something good for casuals because you don't have to have the stigma of how does this relate to Harry Potter. You can, looks like, be sorted into a house, go on all these adventures, and not have that stigma attached to, oh, where's Harry Potter? Oh, where's Ron Weasley? Things like that. You don't have to worry about that. It's just whatever's happening in the Hogwarts origins for the most part. So I think it would be pretty good for a casual. Archer's a fan of Sega. Cool. Have a Sega Genesis, love to play with it. Still play and have a chance, which isn't a lot. Yeah, Sega Genesis was one of the best, hands down. So overall, I think that the PS5, will I get it? Most likely, because I'm greedy. I think the graphics bump will be nice. I don't have the PS4 Pro, which was like the 4K one. I have the PS4. But in my personal evolution of PlayStation, because I'm a massive PlayStation fan, I'm not a big Xbox. I had a 360. I got the Red Ring of Death, and it just wasn't my jam. But if you are an Xbox fan, that's cool. But for PS5, I'd say I'm usually waiting until like the slim version comes out. Plus, I don't really understand. I didn't look it up anyway. What the memory capacities of the PS5 will be. I know it will obviously be more than the PS4, but a lot of these games do have some pretty heavy downloads, like in the hundreds of gigabytes in some of them, which this one I wouldn't doubt if it's that big. So I think I want to go digital for PS5, but it's going to have to be probably with an additional hard drive, which would probably run me close to 100. So should I just get the physical one with maybe bigger hard drive depending on what they are? I don't know. But game looks cool. That's the most important thing. So we're going to move on. Oh, we're 20 minutes in. Look at us being adults. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, and by the way, I had this picture that I was supposed to click there the whole time. Didn't click it. But you know what we were talking about. If I decide to edit this video for later, then I'll make sure to include some graphics. All right, so we're going to move into our live review of one of the new Netflix original movies, which is a big, and I'm going to put up the graphic this time. Whoops, that's Paxton's comment. Always look at your screen when you're going to click something before you. There we go. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about The Devil All the Time. Now, this is a new Netflix original movie, excuse me, which is starring Bill Skarsgård, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and I'm sure some other people that I'm forgetting. Now, Sebastian Stan is in it, and somebody else. Anyway, this movie is pretty new. It had a big sort of push behind it, I guess is the best thing to say, because of Robert Pattinson being in it, and obviously him being the Batman, and people want to see his performance. Bill Skarsgård's really big right now. Tom Holland's really big right now. So the fact that even this is a Netflix movie coming out now is kind of a big deal, I guess. But Netflix has been kind of known to make pretty bad original movies. Good at series, bad at movies. But this one I did decide to watch, give it a shot, see exactly what it was all about. Now this one is based off of a book by the gentleman of the name of, and I can't see my note, Donald Ray Pollock. Now, what's interesting about this is they actually had the author do the narration for this movie. So there's a narrator. We don't see him the entire time. It's not like Tom Holland's character grown up or as an old man or anything like that. But he's actually the narrator. Something that I thought was kind of creative is they actually got, sorry about if I just knocked the microphone. They actually got the writer of the book, because it's based off a book, to do the narration. I did it again. Sorry if you're hearing my knocking of my microphone. They actually got the author of the book to do the narration of the story in the movie, which I thought was pretty unique. You don't really necessarily see like J.K. Rowling doing the narration of Harry Potter or like J.R.R. Tolkien, even though he's obviously not alive, narrating any of the Hobbit movies, anything like that. So I thought that was kind of a creative thing that not a lot of people maybe know about. So if you do watch it, just kind of know you're kind of getting it from the source, which is a lot of fun. But in terms of the acting, I would have to say Bill Skarsgård and Tom Holland are the best parts of it. Robert Pattinson is just like a really creepy guy, in my opinion. He does okay, but Bill Skarsgård, which sort of leads the movie in the start, and then Tom Holland takes up the latter sort of 2/3 of it, are the best characters. They are really, really good. Like, this movie was drawing me in. It's about 2 hours and change, but it doesn't really feel like it. It keeps very well paced, and I know it's not really a story for anyone, or for everyone, excuse me, because it is basically about like this period piece of a guy growing up and being sort of around this sort of religious sort of town and family, but basically all hell breaks loose all around him for various things. It's not like action heavy. It's not going to be your Spider-Man or your Batman or anything massive blockbuster, but it is really good. Like, the story keeps you going the entire time. There are some interesting storylines that seem very separated, but they sort of tied together other than the family aspect. But it's really I hate to say it's a lot of fun, because it's not a fun movie. There are some things that are just not fun in this movie, but it is something that's definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it already. It's probably one of the best Netflix movies that I've seen from Netflix, because all of them tend to be kind of garbage. I did Project Power a few lives ago, and that one just didn't quite do it for me, even though it had every single thing I wanted in a movie that would appeal to me. But this one was way better, and I would say if I were ever come across the trailer, I'm not interested. But I gave it a shot, and it worked out way better than the ones that actually interested me. So with a grain of salt, I guess you could sort of say, try new things. Maybe you'll like them. Let's go ahead and go over to the comments. Cool movie poster. I thought so too. Now, something that kind of bothered me only about the poster and is that because they have each face, it's kind of like sideways, but the thing that I have to give the most amount of credit to any graphic designer who does movie posters. It was once my dream to make movie posters, just because I'm a massive movie person, and I was doing graphic design for a while, especially coming out of high school and things like that, that whoever did this, and I don't know if I can zoom it in, or if you want to zoom it in, but if you look, every single, wait, hold on, I hate doing the points. Every single character, every single actor, their name is next to their face. Now, I know it's a big thing in Hollywood for some of like the bigger actors to have top billing. Perfectly fine. But if you're gonna arrange a movie poster, don't put Tom Holland's face here and Bill Skarsgård's face here, and then Robert Pattinson on the side, and put Bill Skarsgård, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, or like mix match them. It bothers me every single time. I know it's a super stupid nitpick thing just for any rando movie person, but it's just one of those things I wish that they would do more often and pay more attention to. If they just lined it up with the name of the person in their face, it just is more aesthetically pleasing to me. But that's Hollywood's problem, not mine. Canceled Netflix in our house recently. That's okay. I have been canceling a lot of things in my house recently due to pandemic or just lack of watching. Several different subscriptions I'm considering cutting, other ones that I may be considering picking up. But it just depends on what you really are interested in or what's going to give you the most content. The thing that I like, and this is actually an idea that I had, was talking about what streaming services are worth it. If you guys would like to see a video about that, let me know in the chat or in the replay if you're here. If you guys would like to see a video about sort of comparing a lot of the streaming services, which one's worth having, which one's not. Just an idea that I've been kicking around for a while, just been not really wanting to push to do it. But if that's something you guys would want to hear, I would love to make that video. See what, I didn't notice that. Good point about the names. Thank you. Good, gotta go. See you later. See you, Archer. Good to see you, man. Catch the replay. Probably not gonna be that long after a while. All right, so hashtag cancel DC Universe. Yes, because everything is moving to HBO Max. It is confirmed. Even Titans is moving to HBO Max. So basically, there's no reason to keep DC Universe unless you really want to watch reruns of Batman Beyond or whatever. But even that's probably going to be moving to DC Universe or HBO Max, excuse me, by mid 2021, if not by the end. So I would highly expect that to happen. What about this movie? What else did I want to say about this movie? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. Good acting, good story pace. If you've ever seen, something interesting. It's actually produced by Jake Gyllenhaal, which I thought was interesting, which is a Spider-Man co-star, and Tom Holland didn't actually even know was being produced by Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently, despite him being a co-star from Spider-Man. But it kind of gives you Jake Gyllenhaal vibes. If you've ever seen Prisoners or kind of an enemy vibe, he didn't direct it. I think it was directed by a gentleman by the name of Antonio Campos, if I remember correctly. But I highly recommend checking out the movie. It's got good pacing, really good acting. Even if this subject matter isn't necessarily for you, it's got a lot of really good stuff in it. Some things that'll kind of make you squirm, but it's really, really good. I was pleasantly surprised with this movie. And it's kind of getting a lot of mixed reviews at this time, which, I mean, I guess not everything is for everyone, but considering the track record that Netflix has had making their own movies, this has got to be top tier. It's not like some of those ones, like I mentioned, Project Power, or even like Bright, I even thought was better than Project Power. Had a lot of good ideas, but maybe necessarily not all the way there. This one, because it was based on a book, and it wasn't like one of those properties that they have to be like, we have a good idea, now how do we execute it? This one actually had something substantial to it, so it made sense throughout. It had a through storyline, it had evolution of characters, it had things happen that you kind of pull for these characters, not like those other ones where it's like, okay, let's hope that these guys find this mystical object or thing that will save the universe or whatever the case may be. It's not one of those movies. And I think that's maybe the change of pace that I liked a lot. Not necessarily just the fact that it was different, but it was just very nice. Kind of pleasant to watch. Even though it's not pleasant subject matter, again, it's just something appealing. The visuals are really good. And like the period piece in general, awesome. A lot of good story stuff happening. Even though some of it probably maybe not agree with, it's worth checking out. If you have Netflix at all. Lol. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal. Who's also going to be in something else soon, I think. I don't remember. Interesting. Yes, highly recommend checking out PAX if you have Netflix. Sorry, my brain just restarted. Okay, so that was pretty much all I had to talk about today. Um, I feel like that I did a terrible job in terms of talking about these things and to try and segment separate videos out of them. So I probably won't do that anymore. But if you did want to check it out, I'll probably try and leave the timestamps because I only had 2 topics today. Um, Next week, oh, that's something I want to talk to you guys about while you're here. Archer, if you are going to be watching this on replay, I'm going to put up all my stuff here. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, YouTube, obviously, um, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, on at Aaron Waller YT. That is me. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, as well as leave a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. But something I want to talk to the people here live very quickly is I wanted to do something and I needed some feedback from you guys. I wanted to do like a trivia night type of thing. Pax kind of talked about doing something like this on his stream, kind of played with it. I know both Pax and Archer do sort of a would you rather on their live streams, which is super fun, by the way. But considering that I mainly focus on movie stuff, I wanted to kind of pose a challenge or of some kind, doing movie trivia with you guys. And so I was thinking about doing a couple of different formats, possibly doing it with a system. If I did maybe a topic and then maybe did like 10 questions and everybody gets points, depending on if you're live, obviously wouldn't count towards a replay. But if you're here live with me, we can maybe play games, or if you want to do topics on Sundays and maybe do like trivia nights on Tuesdays, just to kind of relax, unwind for a little while, just kind of hang out. That would be fun. We can do theme nights, maybe like a Marvel trivia, DC trivia, I don't know, James Bond or something. Mission Impossible, because James Bond is not my jam, but don't know much about him. But just things like that. I think that would be really fun. And I think by adding on top of that, if we could do something, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Schmodown on YouTube. Essentially what they do is like a person versus person or even team versus team trivia. Obviously, a lot of it is in person. I haven't watched any of their recent stuff if they still do it. But I thought it would be really cool if this trivia thing got enough traction, if any of you guys are free and want to do like a Skype call where maybe like I'm the host or something like that, and then I ask the questions, and then we have like a live caller with like maybe say Archer and Pax, and those two go head to head. We try and split the screen by some magic of the internet. Just a couple of ideas I've been throwing around and thinking about. So if you guys can let me know your opinion in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're on the replay, I would love to hear that as well. Also, we want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to flash it because I like doing this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I am on the road to 300 subscribers. I was at 270 the other day. I boasted about it and then immediately lost subscribers. So that was my own fault. But I'm on the road to 300. I'm hoping to get there by the end of 2020. Now, there are some big plans for when we hit to 300. One of which is going to be a giveaway for a gift card for a movie website that you can purchase digital movies to add to your Vudu, Apple movies, whatever the case may be. There's different ways to do it. Google Play, however you want to do it. But I plan on giving away a gift card to that, so I want to make sure that one of my followers, subscribers, gets that gift card. So make sure you are subscribed for that. Also, at 300, I haven't planned it yet or figured out the logistics, but I want to do a watch party of Jack Reacher. I was thinking about doing with Tom Cruise. I talked about it like 2 weeks ago in my live stream that if we did get to 300 subscribers, that we could talk about or watch Jack Reacher together. I don't know how to do that on YouTube. Maybe doing it like a Zoom call or like a Skype call. I don't know. That way we don't get hit with copyright, and then maybe we can just record and watch it together. I don't know. We'll do some brainstorming. I'm going to need Pax's and Archer's help on that because he's doing his live or his watch party of Constantine for his 300 subscribers, which he just passed recently, so congrats to him. He also has new merch. This is not the new merch, but make sure you check out his website, heyarcher.com. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the chat really quick, and we'll wrap it up and get out of here. And my stuff is overlapping. Okay, so I did watch Gemini Man on Hulu. I liked Gemini Man a lot more than I thought I would. I didn't expect to. The only thing that I wish I could see is that I know there was a release of it in like 120 frames per second, or that's how it was shot. I wish I could have seen that version just for kicks and giggles. It probably wouldn't have added a lot to the experience for me, but I actually liked Gemini Man. I think I did a cinematic delay for it. Could be wrong. Direct message on IG about the Joker. I saw a message. Oh, I'm recording off my phone. I hate that I keep doing that. I did see a message, but I didn't look at it. I do apologize. I will get to it, though, and I will reply to you. I appreciate it. Sounds fun to do trivia stuff. Cool. Never heard of the Schmodown. Yeah, I think it's SCHMODOWN. Something like that. If you look it up, there's some really cool episodes. There's like Star Wars themed episodes that they actually had, obviously, some Star Wars guests. Sam Witwer and Freddie Prinze Jr. That's probably my favorite episode because Sam Witwer pulls out some pretty out of the box trivia and like is so full of knowledge about Star Wars. But that's a really good episode to check out. But just like this tournament style, they kind of do it. I just said it, tournament style. And it looks like it's really fun. So I think that could be something we could come up with just to kind of hang out and just be nerds, nerd out, if you will. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Rhino Dog's on board. Cool. Sounds like it would be fun to do multicam trivia stuff. Can try and do something like that. You know, I'm extending this live beyond it, but I didn't get to talk last week, so we're going to talk today. The GoPro Hero 9 recently came out, and I was really tempted to buy it. I probably won't, because I think that I have a GoPro 5 here. Now, Archer, and I've watched it like 3 times, Archer has a video about his GoPro Hero 8 that he uses for his live streams and things like that, especially for multicam. Now, I know there's a way that you can use the older versions with the cam link for live streaming and as like a multicam. So I'm more tempted to do that. It's probably going to save me about half the money to do the basically using my current GoPro, which is a Hero 5 Black, as my multi-stream, multicam, whatever the case may be. I'm more tempted at saving money right now than blowing it on something maybe that I wouldn't use so much. But if you guys think that that would be really cool, I mean, I've thought about the multicam setup before. I mean, obviously I have my laptop here in front of me, so I can switch to my laptop cam, but I hate using my laptop cam. It's so ugly. This camera, obviously on my phone, is way better. It's like light years ahead of what's on the laptop, despite it being from the same company. And the years between when the laptop came out and when the phone came out is astronomical. And Apple is known for putting pretty bad webcams already in their laptops. So being able to use something that actually can shoot 1080p, 4K, whatever the case may be, would be a massive upgrade compared to just doing it off my laptop. So just something I've been playing with. I know PAX does a multicam thing. I thought about DSLRs or mirrorless like an M50. I'm mainly going to be using it for video. It's probably going to stream and like capture directly to my computer if possible. So I don't know if I'd really be using it for photography or anything like that too often. So I might as well use what I got and just sort of work around it maybe. Just some stuff that I, have been discussing with my wife, and because she doesn't necessarily, number one, understand most of what I'm talking about, and number two, really get to like have a back and forth conversation, you guys are my springboard in terms of what sounds like a good idea. I think that it makes the most sense to continue using my setup now, which is my phone, onto my computer, because I think that's currently the best one. I do miss using my phone for looking up some information so I don't have to use my laptop all the time. Just have a camera, which is I think where the cam link and the cable can come in good handy, which will stream right into eCam with my mic and everything here. Just a bunch of things I'm kicking around on how to upgrade and improve as best as possible. But as Archer says in a lot of his YouTube 101 series, invest more in what's going to make your process easier. So Would it even be a camera? Would it be maybe an editing software? I've been running with this problem for probably the better part of about a year and a half to 2 years on how exactly I want to streamline my setup and do everything perfectly. Um, I do have uh, limitations, obviously, not only budget but space, as I am in like a 2 bedroom apartment, and my office and setup is basically in one of the rooms that is my son's room. So it's kind of a difficult thing where I want to keep things as compact as possible because I do have to often put away some of this stuff, set it back up for live streams, things like that. So I don't really know what I want to do. Just trying to keep it as simple as possible, just in case, worst case scenario. All right. You probably won't need a cam link. You can get a $22 USB hub connector for GoPro. Pax? That's why I love you, man. That's why I love you. I know the cam link is obviously the most popular option. I know there are alternatives to it. I just know that sometimes people kind of complain about the alternatives and sometimes don't have the best experience. But maybe my $22 option could work for me. Something I'm just going to have to do a little bit more research into. Have a GoPro Hero 8 as Linus Cam. It works great. That's what you use for your Linus Cam. Okay, so I actually think your Linus Cam looks, for me, a little bit better than one of your angles. I don't remember which one it was, but I don't know why. It just looks a little bit crispier than the other one. But that's just me nitpicking. So if you say the GoPro works great, I think that I might be able to get away with using my 5 for the most part. I mean, realistically, I'm probably not going to shoot anything higher than 1080 because the 4K option based on like the bubble view or like the field of view for linear mode, which is the mode that I like to use to keep everything flat and not have that fisheye effect, is probably going to be the most effective. I think there might be a 2.7K option, which is like still obviously higher than 1080p, and then maybe I can, because I upload to YouTube, just sort of downgrade that below that or processing to below that. So maybe that could work for me. Oh, and then he immediately says exactly probably what I said. You want to stream at 1080p, never at 4K. It'll be difficult to keep up on your stream. Awesome. So that pretty much answers my question. Should be able to work with a GoPro 5. Yeah, I think so. Based on what I can find, even if I just did like I said, some type of HDMI, get that clean HDMI cable or connection, and then having the mini HDMI, which I think is, or micro HDMI, whatever it is on the GoPro, run to that cam link or alternative, it would probably be a lot better than spending $400 or whatever the case may be. Brand new GoPro, I can get way more use out of other things and not hurt my wallet as much, which is I am a big fan of currently, especially in the middle of this hellhole that we live in with the pandemic and everything. But yeah, those are all of my ideas, my things that I wanted to get off my chest for the last week and a half. Let's move this over a little bit because that bothers me that it's not centered. Well, it's still not centered, but they're a little bit more even. Is that even? Okay, that's good enough. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Oops, got Rhino Dog with a comment here. Still use my Logitech webcam for Zoom calls. I figured that I will have to invest in a good camera for whenever I start doing YouTube stuff. You know, there's a channel I was just watching yesterday. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Because I was doing a deep dive into this comparison, it's funny that you kind of bring up the Logitech. GoPro. I think it was, let me find his channel, because he was pretty helpful in kind of just describing some of what was going on. It wasn't DC Rainmaker, although he has a lot of good stuff. It was, this guy, Alpha Gaming. Whoops. I'm going to open this up here. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. So this guy right here, I'm going to share my screen with you. How do I get back to you guys? Okay, this guy right here, Alpha Gaming. He does a really cool setup. It kind of looks like Tom Holland. I'm just in a big Harry Potter hole. Okay, so if we scroll down, he does a couple of good videos. Um, $23 capture card. See, like this is a video that I need to watch because I think this would probably be one of the best ones to watch. But he did one about he was using a GoPro Hero 4 instead of the new Logitech mini cam, whatever that just came out. And he basically spent about $50 or like $50 for the GoPro and like another whatever for the cable, but it ended up being a lot cheaper than buying a whole new setup and a $180 camera. It cost him just about a fraction of that cost. Um, but he obviously got like a Hero 4, which is like off of eBay and like some other stuff, which was used. But this guy is really good to check out if you're interested in trying to figure out your best webcam setup. He did do a couple of comparisons for Logitech's recently that I also watched. So recommend checking out any of those if you get a chance, Rhino Dog. So he does have a really good channel if you want to check out any of that stuff. All right, any last minute things? Consult the blind guy. How's it going, man? How's it going, Andrew? Good to see you. Just finished dinner. Would have been on sooner. No big deal. Eat. I want to eat. I'll probably do that after I finish this stream. To our team replay so I see what I missed. No big deal, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you even showing up. Really enjoy it. Have seen several of his videos. Good. Yeah. So I think that he's really good. DC Rainmaker, like I said, he's really good at like the reviews of the cameras and different products. He doesn't necessarily focus too much on like actual product use. Like he'll show you like the GoPro in action, but in terms of if you're thinking about like your webcam and stuff like that. Now I don't know what you're using, Rhino Dog, but right now I'm using my iPhone. I have an iPhone X, and I'm streaming. I have it connected to my laptop via a USB-C hub, and basically just plug that in. And I got an app just today because of the whole Epoch Cam thing called Shoot Clean Video or Shoot Clean Camera Video, something like that. It's like $3.99 in the App Store, but it basically gives me everything that I need, and I just kind of zoom and crop it in. It just mirrors my phone and just turn off my notifications, and I'm just streaming from there right now. So, and from what I can tell, it definitely looks a lot better than my webcam. Let's go ahead and do a quick jump over to the webcam. It's my webcam on my laptop. So obviously it's at a different angle because it's what I'm using right now. But if we compare the video quality of this to this, it's going to be quite different. Plus, this looks a lot better in general because I have the background. But plus the picture quality in general is just really what I want. And I was going back and forth. I know I'm ranting and dragging out this live, but like I read this whole article about is bokeh something that even matters, and this guy wrote this great article and even did a video about it that bokeh basically doesn't mean anything. So it's like having that blurred background. It does look very visually appealing and nice, but nobody really gives a crap about it who's watching your videos. So only you care about it because it looks nice to you, but a lot of the times people don't generally care. And plus I got a lot of crap back here in my background that I like to show off or at least have fun little things. Do I wish I could get some bokeh there? Sure. But is it the thing that I need in my life that I want to spend $500 just to get a slightly blurrier background? Not really. And I found out this app will let me use my telephoto lens on my or my phone. I will have to play around with that because I just bought this app today. But just some things that I can play with that might give me that same bokeh effect that I kind of want to have anyway. For one of the angles on my stream, I use Panasonic G5 and G4 cam of pens and highlighters. These are Cine lenses and are totally overkill. I use this for cinematic videos for client. Yeah, I mean, I'm mainly just going to be using it for YouTube videos. I looked into DSLRs and some things like that, but in terms of what I'm using it for and my frequency of use, which is only about 1 to 2 videos per week, plus a live stream, there's really not a ton of money that I want to dump into it. Even though I do love doing this, I don't know if I should focus. I don't know what my area of focus is going to be. So that's just my dilemma. Yes, the USB HDMI, that is $23. I have 3 of them. Haha, you've got me very interested, sir. I will look into that because that is my favorite thing. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Now, when you say that one, the one that Alpha Gaming was using on his thing, I don't know, I lost it. I lost it. I'll go back and look for it. Oh, it's right here. How bad are cheap? I'm gonna watch this video. I'm gonna watch this video right before I watch football because I think that's gonna be my best option at this point. I just am too. I get very over obsessed about these things, even though I don't need to be. iPhone is perfect enough with Epoch. See? Plus, I like the fact that I don't have to go backwards in terms of syncing my audio with my video anymore. That if I can just have it all together and it comes in one thing, that I can just plug this into my laptop and my camera or my phone into my laptop, then all of it just records simultaneously through Ecamm and other programs that I don't even have to do most of the things anymore, that I have to listen and then the audio goes out of sync. Had a big problem with that for a couple of months. And so just getting back into that is not something that I want to do. Use the tools you currently have. This is why I have you guys. You guys are awesome. Yes, Alpha Gaming. Okay, cool. I'll look into that. It's probably going to save me a ton of money to see exactly what is going to be the best. But if a $23 option, or for example, if it is $23, if I try that and it works, then cool, and I don't feel as bad as spending 400. So always good things. This is why I have you guys. You guys are great friends. I appreciate every single one of you. Leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. I'm going to end the stream. I've been talking for like an hour. Most of it on nonsense. Less is more sometimes. Sometimes. Most of the time. That's true. I found a lot of really good things without having to be like name brand, for example. But sometimes just the name brand brings you some comfort, I guess. Which I guess makes sense. But that's pretty much all I have for now. I'm going to end the stream because Pax has a stream tonight, I believe, still. I believe he goes live at 9. I'm going to be watching some football soon, and I would like to eat something. So I'm sure you guys want to go do some other things, have some food, watch football, watch a movie, have some family time, whatever the case may be. But thank you so much for stopping by the live. If you are here live with me, I greatly appreciate you. If you're on Team Replay, also still appreciate you so much for your time. If you watch this entire live, God bless you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you follow me on all the social medias. Aaron Waller YT right there. Also make sure I hate this thing. You hit the subscribe button right over here. Well, that's not the subscribe button, but down below, as well as the notification bell for when I go live, as well as I post new videos. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one.